Just getting it completely all wrong.
What, last week or last month?
last month.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Because we were always very.
Streaming. We're now streaming. Hello, hello, everybody out there in the big bad world. I think it's time to admit people. I think. Hello, 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 everyone. It's PMO HotHouse. Hope you're okay. We're back for another session. It feels like ages ago because we had a really early one last month and it all went drastically wrong technically. We had a few problems, but hopefully people are okay this time. And thanks for joining us both here in the House of PMO audience, but also out there on LinkedIn, YouTube, and all those other good places. So hopefully, if you're interested in PMO, you're going to join us, and we're going to get kicked off with. So we're going to get straight into it. I'm not even going to say hello to my co-host because they can just do it when they come to do their little bits. So we've packed show today. So we want to get on with it. So yeah, let's begin. It is extra, and it's over to you, John. How are you? You okay?
Hey, how you doing? Yes, yes, yes. It's been a busy month for news this month, so I shall rattle through the big ticket items for you. So if you dive straight in, first ones I've got for you are two brand new publications from the UK. APM has published their new body of knowledge, the 8th edition. You're probably wondering, what does it say about the PMO? What's new? What's exciting? Honestly, I've got no idea because I haven't read it yet, mainly because it's £60 and I've only just spent £80 for APM on this beast of a book, the Controls book. However, Eileen has just been waving her copy at us, which we're very jealous of. She is doing a session on the 18th of June dedicated to the APM Body of Knowledge 8th edition from a PMO perspective. I'll share the link in chat in a second. So if you want to find out more about that one, do join Eileen midway through the month for the lowdown on that one. The other one that's come out is from UK government, is their Teal book, because they love color-coded standards. This is pitched as a definitive guide for successful project delivery in government. Looking through it, it looks pretty good. It aligns with the green book on business cases, the magenta book on investment evaluation in government. So it all ties in quite nicely. It pulls together quite a lot of government standards and ways of working in one place. So you dive into this and it links you out to the others where you need it, which is quite nice. There's a really strong focus in there on better project outcomes, focusing on outcomes rather than deliverables, which I quite like. It does. I found there were a couple of times when I was diving into it that I wanted it to go to a little bit of a lower level of detail in terms of going into how to do the processes it was talking about at a very, very high level. It didn't quite do that, which some of you might find a little bit disappointing, but the reason it's done that is understandable. It's trying to be a guide across the whole of government. They've got a wide range of projects running there, so it's understandable they don't go to that level of detail, and they refer you out to standard ways of working for earned value management, project planning, and those kind of things. What's interesting, it treats project and program kind of as one and looks at portfolio in the mix. It's quite holistic in that respect, which I quite like. It does sort of, for me, it kind of reinforces that move that's been going on in government for quite a while now of moving away from Prince 2 as being their standard way of working and having their own standards independent of Prince 2. This seems to just really, really reinforce that sort of divorce from sort of Prince 2 as being a government standard there as well. As PMO people, you'll be wondering what's in there for us. So just a trigger warning for some of you. It does refer to the PMO as being a support office. I know that can be quite an emotive term for PMO people, but I urge you not to just bin it at that point. It does then go on to referring to higher level support offices, specifically portfolio offices, and it does then list the types of responsibilities that you'd normally expect to see with a portfolio office. And those are things that would not surprise any of you in terms of resource allocation, resource management, those kind of things in there, which is good. So gloss over the fact that it calls it a support office. There's a lot of actually quite good stuff in there about how portfolio offices and PMOs above the project should be running. So that's well worth a look. The only weird thing is it's called a book. It's not actually a book. There's a website. It's all on there, but you can't actually buy a physical copy from what I can see, unless I've missed something somewhere. But do have a look on their website. There's a lot of information on there, certainly if you're doing projects in government in the UK. Okay, away from the UK stuff over to the US, we've got PMI. They've announced they're opening the doors for review on their new standard for project management. They release this every few years. Basically, they have a standard for project management, which is treated as the de facto standard definition for project management in the US, and the PMBOK, the body of knowledge that PMI has, is largely based around that standard. They normally publish the two hand in hand. So the standard was last updated in 2021. That was a really big change. They moved away from process groups, which was a main focus before that, sort of initiating, planning, etc., and turning it more and focusing more on project management principles and, again, outcomes. So they moved from sort of initiating, planning, closing to stewardship, tailoring, quality focus, those kind of things. It's quite a big change. It was a lot shorter than the previous versions. This version, I've had a look through the draft. It's double the size of the previous one, but it is still in draft, so it may well shrink down. They've changed the principles. So the old one had 12 principles in there. This one's got 6. So if you don't like my principles, I have others. And they are completely different to the 12 previously. So that's quite a change. It'd be interesting to understand a bit more of the thinking there. One of those is integrate sustainability, which is something I'll come back to. That does seem to be a theme across everything, because sustainability is mentioned in the in the teasers for the APM BOK 8 as well. So sustainability definitely a theme across all the organizations at the moment. There's also quite a bit more in there about the project environment. So that for EPMOs, that's kind of about us. Watch out for terms like EEFs, enterprise environment factors, so things around the project, and organizational process assets, things that the PMO would have to guide project management and how things work around here. So expect to see those new 3-letter acronyms, or TLAs, appearing in documentation near you soon. There is a reference to the PMO in there being outside of the project and part of the organization, which obviously I'm a big fan of. There's also quite a bit in there about delivery approaches, predictive versus adaptive, or waterfall and agile, to use a different way of putting it. So there's quite a lot in there. If you're a PMI member, you can look at that draft now. You can add your comments to it. If you do comment on it, then your name will probably get a mention in the final version when it comes out as a reviewer and contributor to that. So do go and have a look. It is quite an important document, particularly for those who are in organizations influenced by PMI or anyone in the US. And sticking with PMI, we've mentioned a couple of times over the last year, they've been on a spending spree, buying different organizations, and they've only gone and done it again. This time they've taken not bought outright, but they've taken a majority stake in an organization called Green Project Management, or GPM. So they're a consultancy. They're a consultancy in themselves, but they also do a lot of standards and a certification program for green projects. They have their own various methodologies and models that you can sort of are teased on their website, but then you have to contact them to request more information, and that's where the kind of consultancy sort of side of it kicks in. I think PMI buying them, they do have a certification as part of GPM, so I suspect that certification will become part of the PMI certifications very, very shortly. And they've got a number of models that may be become more visible now they've come into the PMI space. So they've got an organizational sustainability excellence model, or SEM. They've got PSM3, which is a sustainability model for projects, programs, portfolios, as you'd imagine. And there's their model for certifying projects based on their sustainability practices, GPM 360. So do keep an eye out to him. More, I suspect more will come out of that one as PMI start to sweat the value out of that stake they've taken in that. And also, again, that ties into the fact that I think they've emphasized in their principles sustainability in project management as well. So that's probably going to be a hot topic in for a while to come, I think. And the last one I've got on the news today for you is a report from Deloitte. So this is their Chief Transformation Officer study 2025. The last one they did was a couple of years ago. For those of you involved in major transformations, it is well worth a read. A few sort of key things that are coming out here. Firstly, it's really reaffirming that transformation is not the one-off thing that we hope we were doing a transformation back in 1999 to get through Y2K stuff. Well, we're 2025 now, and the world of transformation is showing no sign of slowing down. And we have CTOs in place in organizations now. What we're also seeing as part of this report is actually 3 times more financial capital budgeted for transformation programs. This is since the last time they did this study with CTOs, which was a couple of years ago. So that's quite a big change in investment there. Half team resources dedicated to transformation in organizations. So a lot of this idea of continuously transforming things going on. In terms of what transformation programs look like, you can see on the slide, for those of you can see that there, technology modernization. So continuously refreshing technology is a big one there. No sooner have we got rid of our old legacy systems and made everything API and web focused. We've now got the challenge of AIing everything. So technology modernization, very, very hot there as well. Process improvements and everything. What's gone down since the last one? Talent relocation and hybrid working arrangements have gone right down, mainly because most organizations have done that piece of work because they were forced to do it with COVID. So they've got those ways of working now that are largely working for them, and they all seem to have kind of settled into ways of working that work for them now. If you do go and look at this one and download it, there is a bit in there as well about the key challenges that CTOs are reporting with their projects. Mainly lack of clarity on the North Star for their programs is a big challenge in a lot of cases. Unrealistic time horizons for return on investment is a common one. And then the usual things that we'd recognize: lack of resources with bandwidth, lack of resources with the right skills, change management, communication. So the same kind of things that you would expect cropping up time and time again are challenges. But positive news, you might have noticed if you're reading the slides at the very, very bottom there, CTOs are reporting that 80% of programs are meeting or exceeding performance targets, which is fantastic. We're so used to hearing negative stories of how terrible project management is from vendors. It's nice to see a report actually noting that CTOs are reporting massive success on some of the programs that are running in their areas. That's it for me for the news. I will share the links in chat for you all.
Okay, super duper. Thank you very much. We're going to get straight on. So to the other co-host, Eileen, you're up next. So you're out and about.
I am indeed. I can't see myself because I'm just, I think my camera's on, but I think we can all just still see John. But there we go. I'll remove the spotlight and I can see me. There we go. Yes, we were out and about last night in sunny Scotland, and it was absolutely sunny, wasn't it, Alan? It was absolutely beautiful. We were in the Computershare, and I think you can just see in the top left photograph, fantastic views we had. But anyway, it wasn't there to go and just see the scenery much as that's worth a visit. We did our first PMO flash mob up there for far too long, and it was great because we had about 40 people there, which is back to kind of the good old days, and we had a really good interactive session, and lots of people want us back to go and do it again. But what was really interesting was the subject area, which is a subject close to my heart. Is about, I think we all set ourselves too high a standard by trying to implement best practice, rather than think actually what we need to implement is good practice based on best practice that works for our organization. And it was quite interesting last night to get into some of those kind of conversations where if you lower the bar to something a little bit more pragmatic, the whole change in mindset and approach changed with it. So we had a really good session, and Lindsay's going to have all of that written up and out to share next week, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Better get on with it, don't I? So yeah, so we'll carry on then. So today's before, we've not had this news session for a while, but before we do that, let's just have a look. There you go, a little ad break. Just let you know that the PMO conference that's just coming up, massive celebrations over 3 days, loads going on. We've now sold out of PMO Learn. So actually all that is available at the minute now is that there are 10 2-day passes left. Just 10. So if you're really wanting to get there, get your skates on. So that's just a pre-warning that it's looking to be shaping up really, really well, and hopefully you can join us. But if you know, budget problems, why not take part in on our competition? We've been running them 10 competitions in 10 weeks. This is the competition that we're running right now. All you'll need to do is tell us what the best thing you've got out of your PMO community, not necessarily House of PMO, but any PMO community that you've been part of, whether that's through work, you know, through your own informal networks, whatever it might be, just let us know and hashtag it PMO community. We'll be checking them all up and letting people know the winner on Tuesday next week. So why not have a go? If you really want to be there, this is your chance to try and win a ticket. And then finally, just again, just a reminder that it's International PMO Day coming up on the 13th of May. And if you're wanting any merch like this cup that you can see here, you can get over to the House of PMO shop and actually purchase that. But we've also found a bit of an influx on the shop purchases at the moment, because I think what people are doing organization wise, they're doing some kind of celebration with their PMO teams and buying stickers and whatnot to give out as prizes and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're looking to do some kind of celebration, we certainly will be doing something. You can head over to the events page and we'll see what we're up to on International PMO Day, and you can get joined in with us, or indeed anything else that's going on. But we were really looking forward to seeing what people are up to. So this session we've not run for a while, and it's hot or not. And it just so happens that a lot of the hot things at the minute are very AI focused. And it's almost like we don't want to have an AI segment each time we do this, but it just seems to be such a hot topic, and there's so much stuff that is going on in the world in terms of advancements around some of the tools and whatnot, but also some of the professional bodies are also making sure that they are putting their own spin on what it's all about in relation to project management. And here we are again with PMI leading the way, snaffling up lots of, as John has said, lots of different businesses, but also leading the way in some of the things that are all around the kind of AI stuff. Now, this is the latest report, a paper that came out just last week, which follows on from the done on AI essentials for project professionals, which is a very high level piece about what AI is and you know, what some of the terms mean and all of that kind of good stuff. So quite a generalized document, but again, to get access to it, you need to be a PMI member. So this second one that came out caught our attention, which is leading AI transformation. So this is about organizations using AI to transform their business, and hey-ho, we do that through projects and programs. And within this particular paper, that PMO is put pretty much central to making these happen within organizations. So what this paper is actually doing is, what is the PMO role when they are supporting projects that have AI, in other words, are transforming that business using AI. It's a really interesting approach, you know, but it's gone for, feeling that it needs to call it out, but because in essence, what it is teaching grandma to suck eggs, as we say, which is telling the PMO what the job is in AI projects. Well, you could argue, but is it any different from any other projects that we support? You know, do we really get into the ins and outs of the kind of technical capability of some of the projects? It's a very strange paper when you first look at it. So it is hot. These are some of the things that we pulled out. This is new in the library, by the way. What we did was just do a summarization of that paper because of the fact that the PMO is so focused on in terms of, that one of the core roles. But what's not hot, this paper itself seems to be AI generated. There are a lot of telltale signs. I think when you start to use AI, you get used to seeing what some of the stuff comes out of the generative AI tools like ChatGPT. You kind of get a feel for whether this might be AI generated, and it definitely has this feel. It's one of those things where it tells you a lot of what it is, lots of bullet points, but not much detail in terms of the how, which I thought was quite a strange thing. And I've got no problems with people like PMI putting out papers that may be AI generated, but I did notice that when you're doing things like uploading kind of papers and books and things to Amazon for publishing, it does specifically ask you if there's any part of that book is AI generated. And I sometimes think that maybe we need something from professional bodies that are saying, this paper has been generated using AI, using some of the resources and things that are in there. So no problem with it, but, maybe there should be a declaration. So it is very checklisty. It's very bullet pointed, it's interesting, how it's laid out. It tells you a lot in terms of what needs to happen, but not in the how, which does tend to be some of the outputs that you get from AI. What I would say for people, if you're not a member, you could then in essence find the table of contents for this, use some of the prompts yourself in your own AI tools like chat, and perhaps get it to give you a lot of the insights of what a PMO role might be in supporting AI projects. Just a thought. So that was the paper. But interestingly, within this paper, and also linked back to what John's just talked about in his news piece, it differentiates between the role of PMO and TMO. And for anybody who's not familiar, TMO, Transformation Management Office. So here it's like, well, what is the link between them? It's now throwing out for, certainly when I was reading it, that actually made me think we've not really done much on TMOs. Are TMOs really the same as a PMO? What is the difference? And is it a different skill set? Is it a different type of person? The way that you could say that it's the difference between them is that the PMO is more like the engine room. So it's making sure that the ship's engines are running properly, whereas a TMO is a navigation bridge, making sure that the ship's heading in the right direction to reach its new destination. There's the analogy. Is that the case? Do some PMOs also do that? I think one of the things that is interesting about it is that TMOs are generally leading change within the organization. So the organization's transforming. But it just made me think of, are we now muddying the waters? Do we have a clear differentiation between PMOs and TMOs? I think it's something that needs to be explored certainly a lot further. So carrying on with this kind of, is it hot? Certainly generative AI is hot. There's no doubt about it. That is what people are pushing, PMI, APM, just generally any other industry sectors. It's all about the Gen AI, which is about generative, asking it questions, generating nice imagery, all of that kind of stuff. That's the generative AI. But what's happening with the predictive AI? This is the hard bit. This is the thing that's not hot right now. It seems to be we've all kind of like gone around the whole, let's all use ChatGPT. But we know that for project management, the real differences, the real changes are going to be with the kind of predictive AI. But these are the bits that are hard. This is a bit where we really need to be getting deep into the data. We really need to be starting to be able to use things like machine learning, some of the really hard, tricky bits. But it's certainly not hot right now, because it's almost like generative AI is kind of like muscling it in and taking center stage. So when will it be? When will predictive AI start to be the thing that comes in? Well, we'll see. I mean, we last month we did talk about this hot term that is everywhere at the moment, which is AI agents, and this is about those kind of things that you're using like Chat GPT, but it is getting cleverer. You know, it's obviously it's a learning tool, it's a learning thing, it's building on all the stuff that's going in there. And AI agents are the way that now people are talking about, well, what is it that's coming next? And we did a little piece on it about, well, what are AI agents in terms of the PMO space? And that was all about, well, actually from a PMO point of view, there's no reason why you wouldn't have different AI agents looking at specific parts of the PMO role. And, you know, will that be the PMO of the future, that we will be able to have this integrated AI ecosystem in the PMO that specializes in all these different areas. They have their specialisms, but they're also interconnected or chained in some way. So there's a lot going on. It's certainly hot, but what's not hot is that for many of us, is trying to keep up with all of this kind of stuff because it's fast paced, it's moving quickly, and getting to understand what are some of these key basic terms really, really difficult. Where do you go for this kind of help? Which leads me on to one of the hot things right now, and it's literally just come out in the last few weeks, is that there is something that people can do at a very basic level to understand this stuff. And I think certainly from a PMO point of view, here is potentially something, and it is it's artificial intelligence practitioner. It is a course that does give you a certification, but it is all online. And again, it's accredited by APMG, or also accredit the House of PMO stuff. So we got into this and having a look at it, and you can just see there on that image there at the bottom, some of the core areas. This is what we kind of need to be getting to, is the understanding what are people talking about when they talk about things like AI agent, when they talk about predictive analytics, when this, you know, what is it that people are actually doing? This is not a bad way to get started, because what's not hot is that this stuff's changing all the time. So it's not a place where you can just go once and read this stuff. It's got to be made sure that it's up to date. Even when I look at some of the stuff that PMI have put out, good stuff, but already ChatGPT has moved on to its next level. You know, so does that get updated? Where are we? What's the most frequent, you know, where is the right kind of place to go? And again, with the artificial intelligence practitioner, you buy it on a yearly basis, so it's getting updated. So yeah, just something to check out, and you can have a look at that at APMG. So there's hot and not all around this kind of AI space. Really exciting, really interesting stuff. It's just a lot, isn't it, when there's lots of other things going on as well. But hopefully we can just keep on bringing bits to you that we think, yeah, I think there's something here that PMO needs to have a look at. So we'll get all those links that you can have a look at all of this stuff in the comments shortly. So before we move on, you're still all with us. We're hello, if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube right now, you can also comment on some of this stuff. We are keeping an eye on it, and we are putting some of those links in there. Yeah, hopefully next time you might join us. So it's normally the last Friday in the month. So we'll be back on the 30th of May for the next one. So are we ready to move on? We've got our final segment coming up, and we've got somebody in the hot seat. So over to you, Eileen. You've got a friend. We've got Sarah.
Unmute myself. Yes, I've managed to find one other friend other than you. So hello, well, two, because John will class me friend if I push him too. So anyway, yes. So we've got Sarah. So Sarah, you've been around flash mobs and House of PMO for a while, haven't you? How long ago, and what made you get involved?
Yeah, so I first joined House of PMO as a free member, probably back in about 2018, when I happened to come across you when I was searching for something. And then in 2022, I got my first job as head of PMO in an organisation where there was me and 4 project managers, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to need some real support in putting this all together. So I bit the bullet and paid for full membership, and what a difference that's made, because it's allowed me much more access to the stuff that you're doing. I'm regularly coming here to find out what's going on. I love John's bits. I always end up with all the links, and I have a web browser with just so many different pages, and thinking I need to sit and read all of these. So yeah, it's been really good, and just finding a community of people that do the same thing that I do day in, day out. And being able to compare notes. It's been, great experience, and one I'm really pleased I took the bullet.
So one of the things that we've got you on to talk about is the fact that you signed up to play with a PMO. I say play, obviously that's a technical term. The PMO Service Catalogue project. Why did you sign up for that project?
Yeah, so you launched it not long after I'd become a full member. And as I say, I was looking for that community, and I just thought actually it's a really good way to meet people. And actually it's been really great. So, I see there's a few people on here that are on the project. I've met so many people that I would never have met by being on that project. And what it's ended up being is a really great learning experience, because as we've gone through all the services and working out what we want as the services for the new catalogue, it's stretched my brain so much, particularly things that I've never touched. So benefits, I would say, has always been one of my weak areas. It probably still is, but actually having Bengani on the group, and as we talk through what it really means, it's just given me an insight into things, and I've gone, right, okay, well, I could probably talk about it almost as much as they say like a stamp's worth, but that was more than I would have had before, when I'd have just looked absolutely clueless. And as I say, it's just given us that community of people that we can just share information with, so it's great.
It's got a few is everybody in the group a kind of a specialist?
No, so not everybody's a specialist. We've got there's a broad range of people. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a specialist. I've been, very generalist in sort of project controls and PMO. And we've got people, ranging from early in their career to been around for a long time. So it's a real mix of people, and I think having that mix of people has been really good, because we have been able to share those experiences. And sometimes asking the stupid question, I think that's always not the stupid question, but what people think is the stupid question, because, it's those questions that make us realise that we assume so much when we know these things. So people asking those questions and being able to make us think has been really positive.
And so how's the project going? Are we there yet?
No, we're not. But we have met a major milestone. So we have now reviewed every single service that's in the catalogue, and we have determined how we are going to structure the catalogue going forward. So that's been a major step, and it's taken a lot of hard work. As you can imagine, we're doing this voluntarily. We're doing this all in our own time. So it is taking longer, but yeah, meeting that milestone, reviewing every service has been a really good one. And we're now at the stage where we're really going to start writing. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So we are still calling out for volunteers. If you are a paid member of the House of PMO, please do go on the website. The form's still there. And join in. We still need some specialists. Interestingly, one of the specialist areas we haven't got a lead for is administration. So if you are a PMO administrator and you're a paid member, please come and help us, because as Eileen says, as we go up the ladder, we forget how important that administration is. And yeah, it's a real vital part. And we want someone that really knows what they're doing, and not us that think we might know what we're doing at that stage.
Excellent. And so just a last thing, curious, because I know you've recently found you've moved roles, which I think is just this week you've used it. And just one of the things we often get asked about is kind of where the jobs market are. So I'm just curious, how did you find the jobs market?
Yeah, surprisingly better than I thought. So I got told at the end of January that our team was being disbanded. That was the whole team, from the engineers right through to the PMO, not just getting rid of the PMO. It wasn't something I was surprised about, because being PMO and seeing the data, I could see it coming. but it's not great news when you find it out. And so I started looking, and I was absolutely shocked at the quality of PMO roles that are out in there at the moment. I used LinkedIn, I used Indeed. That was all I needed. I didn't need to go to any other agencies or anything like that. And I had one day where I had 4 interviews. So that shows, that they are recruiting. I wouldn't recommend it. I originally planned that I had half an hour between 2 interviews, and that turned into 3 minutes. And that's not good, because you forget what you've told the person before and what you haven't told the person. But yeah, I was fortunate. I've just joined Momentum as their project controls director. As you say, this is the end of week 2, so it's still very new. But yeah, if you are looking for new roles, if you're looking to move up, there is lots of stuff out there. So I would definitely say it's a great time to be starting to move around if that's what you want.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So that was what we wanted to do. Brilliant that we're moving forward. I can't wait to start doing the rating stuff, and we'll have the similar kind of challenge that PMI have got for getting people to review it. And there's going to be quite a bit to review, but it's nice and it's one of these projects, isn't it, where we've consciously taken a choice at House of PMO to do it as a community-led project again. So we haven't got like just 2 or 3 specialists sat around the room and rating it. So it takes a lot longer, but as you said, the input is much richer, but also it becomes a development opportunity for people to get involved. So it's great.
Yeah, and the networking. I mean, the networking's been brilliant. As you know, we've met face to face a few times, and just building those relationships with people that do the same. So, yeah, definitely. And I think we should let people know that if they're worrying what a service catalogue is and how to start, we are doing a session at PMO Learn. So grab one of those last 10 tickets and come and find out how to do it.
Who's running that session, Sarah?
Sorry?
Who's running that session?
Sorry, I still hear what you said.
I said, who's running that session on the catalogue?
I think I am, Eileen.
Yes, excellent.
Yes, but do come and join us.
We'll have a great day. We've got a question from Alan. Alan says, did you use House of PMO on your CV, and did it help?
Actually, that was but I definitely talked about it in my interviews. So yeah. But yeah, it probably should have put it on my CV as well.
Oh, Tanya, you said, did you have it on your CV, Tanya?
I didn't have it on my CV, but I talked about it quite a lot in my interview as well.
That's
excellent,
isn't it?
Brilliant.
And the organisation that you've joined, Sarah, I mean, what's their approach to things like that? What do they think about that kind of professional development and stuff?
Yeah, so interestingly, in my contract, it's actually encouraged to join the professional organisation. So I was really pleased to see that. And it's been really interesting. As I say, I've only been there 2 weeks, and we're already starting about putting together our service catalogue. So I'm really pleased that I'm able to use the experience that I've been doing in there. So it's good and encouraged, and I think a lot of organisations are encouraging people to keep their professional development up now, so that's great.
Can I just ask put completely on the spot, and I don't want it to feel like a job interview at all.
However,
I'm really interested to know what you're now a project controls director. What's your plan? What do you see yourself doing now? Like within, what do you want to achieve and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I applied for sort of project control and PMO roles, and I was almost hoping to get the PMO director role, that I went for another organisation, because sort of that was where I wanted to go, being at that. And I just see myself continuing to learn, and I am towards hopefully the end of my career and looking retirement. But I really enjoy what I do. I'm doing a lot in the project data analytics space, and I really enjoy mentoring the sort of the people coming up. So I see that sort of as I sort of start to ramp down over the next sort of 5 years of doing this, is ramping up the sort of mentoring people and bringing people into this career. And I'm really excited that my son has just got himself a project controls apprenticeship, so he's starting that journey. He's been doing mechanical engineering, and I've really struggled with the maths, even though I have a maths degree. So when he's now got a project controls apprenticeship, I'm like, at least I know the subject and I can help.
Right.
So that'll be testing those mentoring skills.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Okay, lovely. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's
Thank you for inviting me.
absolutely. We look forward to seeing you in June and what you're going to be sharing with us on PMO Learn, all around PMO service catalogue. So excellent. Thank you very much. So anybody who is not already connected or knows Sarah, please do connect with her. She's a very nice person, so she's a good one to have in your network for sure. So yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. And there's a full name, so you can just go and find her on LinkedIn right now. So that's it for this month. We've got more coming up, lots of different types of stuff happening, a mix of some face-to-face but also online. We're going to be listening to AWE. They have been on a massive journey over the last few years. Going to be enterprise level PMO, and a subject that lots of you are really interested in, which is the power of metrics. So please do make sure that you come and join us for that. We've got then Eileen is delivering a session face-to-face in Southampton, or just on the outskirts of Southampton. That's going to be a roundtable discussion group. We've been doing a few of those, and we've got some papers coming out shortly with some of the other ones that we've done. So really interesting subject. Again, another popular one. These were selected. This subject was selected by people who had been to the first South Coast event that we'd had. And it was about demonstrating the value of the PMO. So there's going to be some interesting stuff comes out of that. PMO Canvas, an interesting one. It's certainly going to be something that Eileen's going to be able to take you through. It's just something that occurred to us at the beginning of this year when we went away on our planning session, is why do we not have a PMO Canvas? So if you're intrigued, make sure you sign up for that one. And of course, it's International PMO Day as well. So that is it. John, any final words before off you pop?
No, there's a lot of only say in the background I've been clicking on links and I've been signing up for the session, so looking forward to the PMO Canvas session, and of course looking forward to Eileen's session mid-month where I can learn all about the APM book. Sorry.
Absolutely. And you, Eileen, anything?
I want people to start telling us what they're going to be doing on International PMO Day. I know we've got some kind of bits in the running. The shop's been selling stuff for us, but I think it's time. It's less than a month away, so we should be start talking about what we're going to do and sharing that, so we can all get excited. Part of the build-up is half the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly going to be going and popping into somebody's virtual PMO away day type thing. You're actually going and doing one.
I'm going to do face-to-face again, definitely mine. It's just so amazing to get out and kind of seeing people, and just the interaction is so different. And I think we at the flash mob last night, it was people are starting to remember how good face-to-face is, and I think they want more of it. So we're definitely going to be doing some more of that. But yes, no, I get to drop in face-to-face, and then we've got an online session in the afternoon we're going to be doing as well.
Yeah, super. And if you'd like to see any face-to-faces in your neck of the woods, your hometown, we do want to know about that. And certainly if you make it easy, if you can host it in some way, we can certainly make these things happen. So please do have a think about that. And yeah, hopefully we'll be with you in your place soon. So that's it for now. Hopefully you've had a good April. May is just around the corner. Oh gosh, where is this year going? So that's it for now. Take care. Keep on PMOing, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.